Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm Dear Darling. I shall see what's going on on our lovely island of Fawnhallow today, where we'll be relaxing as per usual. Late night recording, of course, D&D session. How'd it go? It's pretty good, I think. You know, it's more of a transitional, I think, session than anything, where we're almost not taking a break from the main arc of this plot, I suppose, but taking a sort of side track. Mainly, I will say, the consequences of some actions in the group, certainly, but that may need to lay low, but that's essentially why. But good evening, everyone. Now in Fawnhallow, it's 11:51 PM on Friday, May 2nd, 2025. Happy May 2nd to everyone. As we're sort of relaxing as per usual. I don't know what I'm going to talk about. I've not managed to record like anything, nor do the thumbnail for the next series, so that's going to be something which is very interesting. And I don't mean the Animal Crossing one. This is the series, which I think the thumbnail art should be relatively quick. Like, I'm going to predict it will take me 2 hours. But the thing is, I'm also going to be kind of busy, because tomorrow I'm going to go watch a movie. It'll be a very nice time. I'm going to go watch, hopefully, Flow. The amazing animation, which I think, did it win the Oscar? I don't know. Oscar Animation 2025. It was Flow, yes. I didn't realise it was still in cinemas, to be honest, but apparently it was at very early showings. So doing that, and then later in the evening will be the other campaigns D&D session for Scooby-Doo group, as opposed to the Guardians of the Galaxy group. Is that accurate? No, but I don't know. I mean, I could just use their team names, but at this point it's kind of like funny to have these weird comparisons, but yes, apart from that, I don't know what else to say. I'm just sort of vibing, just sort of relaxing. I guess I'll do my Neopets stuff, see what's going on. I know Hissy Day soon. I know there's a lot of drama in the Neopets community right now because apparently there are some, like, they're leading even harder into the gacha element or something of it, right? I don't really know the details behind it, but just sort of like, there's like capsules or something. They're loot boxes essentially, and by getting rid of the free, whatchamacallit, things which you can purchase. But basically every pet has an associated day of the year after them, and on that day they usually get customizables or things, and I think historically they would always get something which you could buy using in-game currency, and then they would always get an additional one, quote quote. I'm not sure about that, which uses the premium currency, the microtransaction currency, and apparently now they've got rid of a free one, which is not great, I would say. I suppose it's perhaps a bit negative to say I'm not surprised it ended up happening. I have no idea how Neopets makes any money, I suppose, at this point. I guess its upkeep must be pretty low. It's just the same as running a website, and the development cost might be a lot lower. But genuinely, I don't know. It's kind of mind-boggling in a way that it survived this long. I don't know how it has in any way, shape or form, but somehow it does, and I do find myself coming back to it every once in a while, mainly because I think the only reason I come back to it so often is because it's basically the easiest game to play while doing these Animal Crossing videos at the same time. I can just do it automatically, you know, open up Tiki Tombola, go to a deserted tomb, and it does not matter at all if I miss a daily or whatever, because most of the time it doesn't really matter. I'm just sort of doing it to ideally click. Because I would do other stuff while I'm also playing Animal Crossing, but the thing is, a lot of the other stuff is very audible. Like if I opened Honkai Star Rail right now, despite the fact there's an audit mode and it can farm the calyxes for me, you would hear all the noises, and I could just mute Honkai Star Rail, I suppose, but I don't want to mute it, and every time I want to actually play it, I want it like unmuted or something. So sometimes I do it on my phone, but right now there's a Project Sakai event going on. So that is currently playing on my phone at the moment. And you might be like, oh, why don't you get your laptop out to play? And I'm like, oh, am I really going to get out a third device just to play something? Which I will very easily do just after I finish recording this episode. And the answer is no. I'm not going to do that. A very funny concept though, I will say. To be like, oh, hey, what's up? I'm like, I got too many games to play, so I'm playing on 3 devices all at once. It's not bad though. I'll say. I think all of my games at the moment are having a really great time playing through. You know, Genshin. Well, Genshin's just a countdown to the next patch, which is going to be super hype. I'm excited for Escoffier, and I'm excited for whatever the heck's going on about story quest, Honkai Star Rail. I think because I took so long to do the story quest, it was cinema. I think when I finally got to the end of it. ZZZ, I haven't even done my next story quest yet. Pokemon Pocket, I think it's having a great time with its new expansion pack. I still love the fact of Oricorio, and I'm very sad that I still only have one Oricorio. I don't want to make a whole deck around it, but part of me wants to. I think the deck I'm going to go with is the one which, the Beedrill Serena deck or something, alternating with Beedrill Meowscarada. But who knows? What else is happening? Project Sky, very anticipated event. Still haven't read the story yet. I'm sure it must have been translated in English by now. Or the other times with really hype stories for this group, I always read it on the day, but like in Japanese. And I'd had to constantly translate because I was like, I don't know what this word means. Starlight Stage, it's got Live Carnival, which is the best event in Starlight Stage. Well, in my opinion, it's the most fun event. Because you actually had to team build, you actually had to think about it, and then you can spend some time actually playing these songs to get the highest cumulative score possible. Pocket Camp, we've got the new May cookies out, which I haven't even had a chance to look at yet, so that could be exciting, or it might not be, I don't know. That's basically all the games I'm playing. Shiny Colours, I don't know, it's not got anything particularly interesting for me. It's a banner. I mean, to be fair, Shiny Colours, that's also a game which is easy to play while playing Animal Crossing. I guess I could technically do like runs of Shiny Colours while I'm playing Animal Crossing. That seems like a bit much. Because I'm at the moment where what I should be doing is I should be making... It's really hard to describe, but Shiny Colours has like an inheritance-based system, I suppose, when you make things where I should be doing step runs to make a better book, and then I need to do, say, Halo to make my character stronger, but that takes effort to do so, to think about it. It's just kind of tedious. I hate making the step books, but I think running, say, Halo is actually quite fun. What? I accidentally clicked on something here while I was scrolling through. Yeah, I don't know. What else is going on? I played a bit of Valorant yesterday. It was very interesting. We had quite a long break from Valorant for a while. I'm not sure. I think probably because League of Legends Arena came out and that sort of became all-encompassing for a while. And now it seems like we've gone back to Valorant. At least I've seen my friends playing it, and I actually joined the call last night. And they were like, oh, you know, did I come join, you know, be the fifth? And I was like, sure, I'll hop in. I'll play a bit of Valorant, why not? How did I do? I did fine, all things considered, like that I haven't played for a while. Played on a new map, Sunset. I looked at it and I was like, I have no idea what this map is. I got very lost. But apart from that, like, the craziest thing about Valorant at the moment is the fact that for whatever reason, I have no idea how this has happened. And I even checked like which round it is. But basically not my MMR, but my point gains, which is like in their rank system, are ridiculous in Valorant right now. Like, it's just utterly insane. Like, every win gives me so much. I get performance bonuses for being very mid in the game, and every loss loses me like nothing as long as I perform okay-ishly. Which is an amazing screenshot, which I took yesterday and shared in the memes channel. On my personal not my personal set, my friends group server, where I did fine in one of the matches. I went 15-14-6, and I got plus 38 RR for that match. And then the next match we lost, and I did fine as well. I went 18-18-3, and I lost 4 RR for that. It was insanity, because that first match is like I got 28 or something. I got plus 10 as a performance bonus, and in the second match I lost 12, which is already insanely low, and then I got a plus 8 performance bonus, so I lost 4. It was ridiculous. I have no idea what's going on, and my initial thought was they must think my actual rank, my MMR, is so much lower than my actual rank is at the moment. That's why, like, when I'm queuing up with my friends who are like silver, maybe low gold, it just ends up being like, oh, you know, dear darling, she's doing so well against a lobby so much higher than her. Whenever she wins, she'll get a load, and then whenever she loses, she will lose like nothing. But apparently it works backwards, the other way around about it, where if it thinks your MMR is up much higher than where you are at the moment, it will increase the gains you get, basically making your rank increase easier. Because it's saying, oh, you don't belong with this rank, we want you to get out of this rank and to your true rank as soon as possible. And I was like, oh, that's an interesting idea, I never even thought about that. And apparently, you know, inverse as well, if your point gains, your rank point gains are very low, it essentially means that it thinks you should be lower than where you are at the moment. So I guess it's sort of being like, proved to me that you are good enough to be in this rank, because I think you should be lower. I don't know which way around it should legitimately work. It's a very interesting thing that all these ranked games now have a sort of disconnected true MMR system behind the scenes, which is match-made ranking system. If you don't know the acronym, but it's basically the invisible metric by which it judges what is your skill level, so to say, like what ranking you should or shouldn't be behind the scenes. And then it will have a more public ranking system, which, you know, varies depending on what game you play, which is disconnected from MMR. And that will be just what you visibly see, what rank do you end up attaining. And you might be like, that seems like a poor true reflection of like what your actual rank abilities are. And the answer is, it is. It does not necessarily accurately reflect what your rank is. But that's kind of the point of it, because the point of it is the fact that people want, there's a psychological thing, I'm sure, where it's like people want, even though they see their rank is like, let's say their true rank is like silver 1 or something, or like, let's say high silver, it feels better if, you know, the outward rank does not necessarily truly reflect that, and it's like, oh, you're actually like mid gold or something, even if fundamentally, you know, that might not be the case by the way you play or by the people you're matched up against. I think inherently, like, it's a thing where it's like, it just feels better, doesn't it? Like, being told that you're better than you are. As much as I'd love to say that everyone, myself included, would be like, no, I'd rather know what my true rank is. And I think to a certain extent that is true. I think humans are also very fallible. I don't know if it's necessarily fallible. It's more like we're emotional, so it shouldn't be surprised that, in a way, if we find out that, oh, you know, things are a certain way instead, like, that's not your true rank, or, you know, I guess what I mean to say is sweet lies, whether you like it or not, end up working a lot of the time on people. I don't mean that in a way to encourage it, I just mean that in a way to sort of been like, this is our grip on humanity, that we are influenced emotionally, I suppose, by the nature of certain circumstances, or the nature of certain explanations, right? And a white lie, I'm not going to say it is necessarily better or worse. I mean, there are cases that perhaps a lie would be more appropriate than telling the hard truth, but we humans, just sort of at our core, are emotionally sort of invested in things here and there. So finding out that maybe you're not as good as you thought you were, or can feel bad in a way, right? Like, if given a choice of feeling like you are good or feeling like you are bad, I feel like most people would very fairly be like, I'd rather feel like I was good. I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with that. It just sort of is what it is, isn't it? It just leads to a very interesting consequence where it's like, oh yeah, the rank system does not necessarily accurately reflect it, and that sucks if you want to know your true skill. But I feel like most people who play this rank don't, weirdly, consequently enough, contradictingly enough, don't want to find their true skill so much as they want to just be, you know, feel like their true skill is better than it is. Does that make sense? And again, I say this, and I like to think myself that I would prefer to know what my true skill is, but at the same time, I need to acknowledge that I'm inherently, you know, flawed as a human being, where, you know, I'm sure people have like told me like white lies in the past, being like said, oh, you're like so good at this, when I was really just like average or like fine at it. And I'm sure my emotional reaction was like, oh, that's nice, that feels good to feel like I'm good at something in a way. Now overall, I do think it is better to know honestly the truth, but at the end of the day, we're also thinking about the fact that we're not talking about human like relationships in that sort of sense. We're not talking about people disconnected in the sense of like, oh, this is emotionally or fundamentally like a core thing which would be good to do as a human. This is a business at the end of the day, and at the end of the day, the business wants to make you feel good, right? There's not many businesses out there purposely making you feel bad, and making money out of it. I don't even know what would be. I'm trying to think of a good example, like a zinger joke, but I don't have a zinger joke. So I'm not sure if that's actually why. Let's see. Let's see if someone's talked about it. Why are MMR systems disconnected to ranked visible stats? Ranked uses invisible MMR system. But why? Behavioral interactive. No, this is a company. This is not about behavior. The hidden system behind it. But why MMR versus visible rank different? I want someone to explain. Someone tell me why MMR exists. MMR skill level. The shiny badge of your name isn't relevant in the same way as your MMR is. Okay. I'm sure there's other reasons as well. I'm sure that's not just the core tenant. Again, I'm not a psychologist and nor am I a game designer, so I'm just kind of speaking randomly with the authority and with the vocabulary to make it seem like I know better than what I'm actually talking about. But actually I don't. I'm just sort of saying nonsense, really. And I don't mean the Sabrina Carpenter song. But it is interesting to think about, isn't it? Like, why? What other ways could there be? I'm sure that like things like soft prevention from demotion feels a lot better, I think, to play on a user perspective. A lot of people get like rank jitters, and knowing that you are one loss away from immediately demoting can really put people off. And whether you say that may not be a true reflection of a rank in the end, I think most people would much more willingly be like, oh yeah, I'd rather have like a loss prevention shield or something for 1 or 2, which would slightly misalign my MMR by maybe like half a rank or something, because that would help calm my nerves. Because then you don't want the situations where people are playing with rank game and being like, everything is riding on me playing this rank game. If I lose, I'm going to stop playing. Obviously it's in the game's best interest that you be like, oh, you know, even a loss just sort of motivates me to play even more. Well, if that's the case or not, I can't say I know, but it's interesting, isn't it? Anyway, I think I'll wrap this episode up here. So if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares, greatly appreciated. Socials, Discord down below. Hope to see each other again, but for now, so farewell. So until next time, bye bye for now.